Hi everybody, Dr. Robin here. I want to jump right back into our topic of recipes for cleaning up, greening up your home. Today we're talking about the beauty cabinet and some cosmetics that you can make. I do recommend placing an order online. There's a website called bulkapothecary.com. I'm not getting anything from referring you there. I'm not an affiliate in any way. But I've had really good success buying their smallest quantity possible and then just using those clays or oils or whatever over however long. The clays actually last years. And so I recommend placing an order. Maybe you want to go in with a friend. You might spend $50 at the most, and these clays will last you, like I said, years. Okay, and the thing to be aware of when we're making cosmetics is that the shelf life is shorter. Okay, I recommend that you make a new batch every 6 months at the maximum, and I recommend that you make small batches. So I'm going to give you parts for these recipes, like 1 part of this, 2 parts of that. I recommend that your part begins at 1 teaspoon, okay, to keep the math simple for you, and also so that you don't end up with cups and cups of foundation powder. You know, silly, you're not going to use it that quickly. I don't think. So the shopping list for bulkapothecary.com is bentonite clay, Rasool clay, which is a beautiful medium brown color. Bentonite clay is green, okay, and rose kaolin clay, it's beautiful warm rose pink. And if you want, you can buy Moroccan red clay as well. It will bring a deeper, ruddier undertone into your color palette. You can also use cacao, our superstar of our last video, cacao powder. You can use cinnamon also, and turmeric is another one. If you have yellow undertones in your skin, then turmeric is a great addition, just a little bit. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to give you is a foundation powder that's completely appropriate for people with light to medium skin tones. So you're going to have to play with each of these recipes. I'm going to give you the parts that I know and that work for me. You can see I have light skin. I am wearing the powder right now. Right? It doesn't cover anything up particularly, but it smooths the whole complexion and it takes redness out of the skin. So I wear it almost every day right now and I love it. It doesn't dry me out, but it keeps everything smooth and matte looking. Okay, so we're going to do 1 part arrowroot powder. Now that's something that I don't know if Bulk Apothecary carries, but you can certainly buy arrowroot powder at your grocery store. Okay, it's like cornstarch, but it's not corn. It's a different plant, arrowroot. So we're going to do 1 part arrowroot powder, 1 part bentonite clay, and 1 part of the Rasool clay. So this gives you a basic light-skinned, slightly green powder. Okay, the green is actually going to take down the redness in the skin, and the Rasool is going to make it so it's not just blanching you completely. Now, on top of this, you can add another teaspoon of the another part of your rose kaolin clay to warm it up a little bit. You could add a half a part or 1 part of cacao to warm it up a little bit, make it a little bit darker. You can also take the arrowroot powder out. If you want to make this a more medium toned, I would just not do the arrowroot powder and do either the same amounts of everything I just mentioned, or you can increase the bentonite clay if you want to make the same volume and do 2 parts bentonite clay to Rasool, 1 part Rasool, 1 part of cacao, or Moroccan clay is another one that's medium red. It's beautiful. Yeah, so those, you can kind of play with that. You want to make it a little bit lighter than your skin so that when it goes onto the skin, your skin's going to absorb it and it's going to turn a different shade a little bit. If you have yellow undertones into your skin, you're going to add in about a half a part of powdered turmeric, okay? So very, very simple. You just mix them up in a little bowl and blend well so that you don't have any lumps of anything. And then store it in a little glass container, a little glass jar. And to use it, you just take a nice floofy brush and smoosh it all over your face. This is a great powder to set like a BB cream type of foundation. I'm not going to give you a recipe for foundation, liquid foundation, because I haven't found one that I like and that really works for me. So there are recipes out there. If you have one that you'd like to share with me, I would love to hear it because I'm on the search, okay, for something I can make in my kitchen. That's a liquid foundation with a little bit more coverage, okay? So you can use that powder to set liquid foundation as well. The next one is a bronzer, or is completely appropriate if you have medium to darker skin tones as a base foundation powder. Okay, so I use this, actually, it's my blush this time of year, and in the summer I use it a little bit more heavily. It will definitely just, to highlight and give myself a really sun-kissed look if for some reason I haven't been in the sun, which I try to be in the sun, right? If you know me, I'm a sun baby. So this is a great one to keep on hand. I love it. I love it all year round. We're going to do one part of the rose kaolin clay and 1 part cacao powder and 1 part bentonite clay. So that's going to take it darker. You can add in your 1/2 part of turmeric if you have yellow undertones. You can increase the amount of cacao or rose clay, but you don't want it to be too pink. To make blush, you just use the rose kaolin clay and a little bit of arrowroot powder, about equal parts. Will make a beautiful pink blush. You can warm that up. I actually recommend warming that with cinnamon rather than cacao or cocoa. And side note, cocoa would be appropriate in this instance because we're not looking for all of the mineral content to nourish our bodies. We're looking for the color of the cocoa here. All right. So you make these, you blend. It should look warm, sun-kissed, dark caramel, light chocolate colored, really beautiful. Blend them in a bowl and again, store them in a glass container and use them as needed, as desired. Unfortunately, I do not have a foundational powder recipe for really dark skin tones. I have no way of experimenting with that right now, unfortunately, and I haven't, outside of activated charcoal, I don't know what else is out there that's darker than cacao or cocoa powder. So if you have dark skin and you're making your own cosmetics, I would love to have your knowledge so that I can give it to other people, because I do have people with dark skin who ask me about making cosmetics, and I don't have a lot to tell them. Ugh, very, very regretfully about that. So then the third thing is a lip balm that we can make, or maybe it's the fourth thing. I don't know. I don't know what I'm telling you. Lip balm is an easy one. We're just going to melt together 1/2 part of beeswax pellets and 1 part of coconut oil. And then you're going to add into that about 1 part of rose kaolin clay and a 1/2 part of cinnamon. That makes a nice sort of terracotta color. You can, if you like just the rosy color, you can do that. You can lighten it a little bit with adding some arrowroot powder. Lots of options here again. You could just try it with just cacao and get a beautiful brown. I would recommend adding a little bit of the Rasool clay if you're also going with cacao to get a dark brown color. I'm wearing, you can probably barely tell, but I am wearing it right now, and it's the one that I make is the rose, and I think I blend it with Rasool and those 2 oils, beeswax and coconut oil. And again, I mix that all up and I put it into an empty lip balm tin, and then I actually rub my lips right on it because I'm the only one using it. You can use this also as a little bit of blush on your cheeks. You can use it as like an eye color, a little bit on your eyelid is going to be fine. I wouldn't be putting your mouth in it if you're going to use it on other parts of your body. I really find I just use it for my lips. It's very natural. It's clear. It doesn't taste like anything. It tastes a little bit like cinnamon if you're putting cinnamon in it, but that's about all you got. Okay, so that's a really versatile one. I recommend it's a great gift that you can give to people because it's a sheer color, and and you can play with it a lot in terms of the color. You can also use beetroot powder in any of these recipes if you don't want to use the rose kaolin clay. And you can also use elkanet powder, which is another very dark red plant that gets ground into a fine powder. I like using clays because they're all very fine grinds. They're very soft and they're easy to use. They don't build up on the skin really heavily. Okay. Speaking of building up on the skin, all of these clays can absolutely be used as facials or spot treatments. What I recommend you do is just take about a teaspoon of clay. If you're just doing a spot treatment, just a half a teaspoon of clay in the palm of your hand with some raw honey. Mix it up right on your hand into a paste and then apply it to whatever spots you have. You can let it sit for 30 minutes to an hour. You can, a nice long sit. It will really heal. It'll sap the impurities from the skin, and it will really begin to heal the skin as well. It's astonishing. I love that recipe. I also love just doing clay and water. If I have, if there is acne that's not quite to the surface, you know what I mean, right? It's uncomfortable, it's inflamed, it's very stressed. Just clay and water for that with maybe a drop of tea tree oil will help draw the impurities right to the surface. And then you can do an exfoliation, you can do lavender, you can do your honey, whatever you want to do. Let's see, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Activated charcoal. Activated charcoal can be mixed with a little bit of coconut oil. And when you do that, you can apply it to the eyelid or around the eye as an eyeliner with a brush. That's a very simple recipe. You can use beeswax and the coconut oil instead of just coconut oil. It will stay a little bit more firmly on your skin. And I sort of hesitate to do that a little bit because I've done it and then I have gotten like little pieces of charcoal in my eye, which is just uncomfortable, as you might imagine. So I haven't gotten into the world of eyeshadows yet, but there's a lot of pigments out there to play with. You can probably use spirulina. You can use turmeric, right? Anything that comes powdered. You can mix it with a little bit of oil or wax and you can apply it to your skin. That being said, mascara, there are recipes for homemade mascara out there. I haven't found one that I like. I've made a couple of batches and I find that they just melt very quickly and they wipe right off of my eyelashes. If I want mascara, then that's the one place that I splurge in my beauty routine. I buy a vegan, very clean mascara that I love, and it lasts me a long time because I don't wear it every day. But that is one thing that I wouldn't really recommend making for yourself, okay? So if you want other ideas on cosmetics that you can make, you can definitely check out my Pinterest board. I'm on Pinterest as R. Drury, and I have a whole board. It's called Beautiful You, and I will post a link in the comments section to that board. Tons of ideas, guys, just tons. I give you these recipes because they are tried and true, and I've done them a million times, and I love them, okay? So until the next time, which we will do household cleaners next time, all right? I hope that you are healthy and well. Namaste.